Hey guys, Pastor Rod. I wanted to take a moment this morning and share a word with you. I hope you'll find it encouraging. It's a type of word that is meant to build you up and to give you some perspective, though. That's really its focus today. The word's out of Mark chapter 4, verse 35. This is the story of Jesus calming the storm. And I want to read just a bit. I know most of you are familiar with it, but I want to read just a bit. It says, that day when evening came, he said to his disciples, that's Jesus, let's go over to the other side. And leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. It's an amazing statement. They took him along just as he was. At this point in Jesus' day, he's become really very tired. He has been preaching all day. He's been out in the open air preaching, and he's tired. Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat, and there were also other boats with him. And a furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" There's a lot of things happening here in this passage. A couple things I want to bring out. First off, I want you to understand that Jesus was tired. He was so tired, in fact, that when he got in the boat, he fell asleep in the stern, and all the jostling of the waves and the storm that had come up, that wasn't enough to rouse him. He was actually quite tired. I want you to know that when your enemy attacks you, he's going to pick a time to attack you when you are tired. That is the nature of our enemy. Now, there's something else that's going on here, and the point that I want to bring out today, I hope you can find a way to apply it to your life. The Bible says that there were other boats with them. I guess I've never really paid a lot of attention to that. What would have happened in this day is as Jesus was sharing the word, of course, people would have launched their boats so they could have come out onto the water and they could have heard a little bit better. As Jesus gets in the boat now to go across to the other side, it would have been natural for those boats to follow him, or at least some of them. And as they begin to follow him, that's when the squall comes up. I'm hearing people today all over say, hey, we're all in this together, speaking of the pandemic thing that's going on. We're all in this together. We are all in this together, but I want you to understand something. We're all in different boats. This is the picture that you see painted here. They were all in different boats. That meant that they were all in a different set of circumstances, but they were all found in the same storm. And this storm would have brought out different things in different captains. See, all of these men were seamen. They understood what it was like to be on. They knew what a bad storm was, what a dangerous storm was, and what a little gust of wind was. In Jesus' boat, the disciples were concerned. They were concerned they were going to die that day. So this is a serious storm. As the storm's raging, some of the captains would have said, you know, guys, we're not going any further in this. Other captains would have said, well, we'll go on a little bit longer, but if this doesn't clear up, we're going to turn around. Everybody wants to stick with this boat, but they're all going to make different decisions. Today, I want you to understand, as this pandemic moves through the earth, we are all in the same storm, but we are in different boats. I want you to understand, I'm watching dissension come. I'm watching division come. People are becoming mad and angry with friends who are taking different stances on positions. I want you to understand that everybody is in a slightly different boat. For some people, this quarantine has been really good for them and their families. It's the first time they have actually brought work down a huge notch and spent time, and they're having a lot of family time, and for them, this has actually been good. For other people, the quarantine hasn't been good at all. It has isolated them. It has kept them apart. They don't have any help. They feel alone, and it's breaking them. For some people, the financial side of this is actually better than it was before. People are receiving a little more money, a little more income than they had before. Maybe in some cases they're receiving more hours at work and they're getting some extra pay that they wouldn't have got. For other people, they've lost their jobs altogether. They're not receiving any pay, and they're not even sure how they're going to make ends meet. For yet other people, they're retired and they receive a government income. For them, the finances have never even been an issue in this case. For some people, they are young, they are healthy, they have strong immune systems. They're not the virus isn't a concern for them. For other people, they have compromised immune systems or they're at high risk to catch the virus. Both those two are in different boats. Some people say this whole thing's a hoax, it's made up. And other people have family that have died from the hoax. Is it a hoax? It's all a matter of perspective. And so what I want you to grab today is that division is what the enemy is going to use against us. He's going to try to separate us. He's going to try to tear us apart. He's going to try to get us on different pages, because if he can separate us, he can cut us apart. He can take one at a time out of the herd and take them down. One of the things that you have to understand about the nature of Christ is to always take us through. People say, well, why didn't God prevent this? Why didn't he stop this? Why didn't Jesus stop the storm that day before it even came up? Why didn't God intervene and said, no, this isn't going to happen today? The whys weren't important. What's important is that Jesus calmed the storm. He said, in this world you will have trouble, but behold, I have overcome the world. How trouble comes, why trouble comes is maybe not as important as which boat you're in, or maybe whose boat you've lashed your boat to. See, I'm in a different boat than you are, and other people are in a different boat than I am. The point is, if we'll just lash our boat to Jesus' boat, he's going to bring us through. That's all that matters. And in the midst of this, we need to have grace for our fellow man, the one who's in the different boat, the one who is struggling in a different way than we are. You know, instead of bringing division, we can begin to pray for each other. We can begin to share our resources with those that don't have enough, and we can begin to encourage those who are a little more lonely. We can work together to build each other up, or we can tear each other apart. It's important in this hour. This is a way that the enemy undermines us. He waits until we're tired and he brings the attack. And when he brings the attack, he tries to separate people. We need to be careful not to become separated, but we need to find unity in the body of Christ. So friends, let's redouble our efforts to reach out to people and to let people know that we're praying for them and we're concerned about them and we care. If you have need of anything, please let me know. We're here for you. We're praying for you. I want you to know he is going to take us through this storm. This will end. He is going to calm the storm. Have an awesome week and be full of faith. He has not brought us this far to fail us now.